Together, we will make America great again.
When you say make America great again, well, everybody knows it's make America white again. Everybody knows that.
Do you think he's a racist?
No, I don't think he is. I know he is. And I'm truly concerned about the direction in which this country is going. It's sad, it's scary, and it's real.
Do you think all black voters is going to vote against Trump?
I would like to be able to say yes, but unfortunately I cannot. I think a very small percentage of African Americans are going to cast a vote for Trump. Why? I would have no idea. There's no question at all that Trump's made it very clear that not only does he not care about the African American voter, he doesn't care about the white Anglo-Saxon Protestant voter. Trump cares about Trump.
What's the sentiment among black community towards President?
Well, all really one has to do, and his history has become quite clear. Going back to being sued and losing a lawsuit for refusing to sell to black folks in New York City years ago, him and his dad both. He's called them names like SOBs. We all know what SOBs means. But again, his agenda is self-based.
So you think he's a racist?
No, I don't think he is. I know he is.
Former Vice President Joe Biden is really counting on South Carolina, and he's counting on black voters who voted for President Obama before.
Correct.
Do you think he can gain a lot of supporters from the black community?
I tell you what, I'll say this. The 8 years that Vice President Biden spent as under Barack Obama's administration is the primary reason why a large percentage of black folks are considering putting their vote in favor of Biden. I think there's that connection between Biden and black voters, and that being Obama. I think that should not really be the determining factor. I mean, I've watched Joe Biden in some of these past debates, and to me, for my money, he just doesn't seem to me to be mentally prepared. I think he's lost a step or two. At this point, who would I endorse? I have no idea at this point, but I don't think that Biden is the guy.
Has President Obama actually changed the social status of black community?
He's given the black community hope, because there's no one in America prior to Obama being elected that actually thought a black man could become president of the United States. Two things happened. There were a fairly large percentage of white people and a huge percentage of black people that were elated when Obama took the oath to become the 44th president of the United States. With that same sort of enthusiasm and excitement, you reverse that completely when you go to the 70 or 80 million Americans who looked upon Obama as being no more worthy than emptying the trash can at the White House. So you've got two emotions butting up against each other, one in favor of and one totally against. I mean, even to this day, you can see where Trump takes credit for many of Obama's accomplishments. And those supporters of his believe that he's actually the one that accomplished all these things. But there's still this deeply held hatred for folks that don't quite look like the majority of Americans. And it's a problem. So in a way, I mean, I'm 66 years old, and I saw similar attitudes when I was coming up as a young child. Segregation was still in force in the South. Segregation of schools, segregations in neighborhoods. And I see resistance against that returning, but I also see it making headway. That sort of hate is making headway now. So it's almost like deja vu to me. I can honestly say that I'm truly concerned about the direction in which this country is going. It's sad, it's scary, and it's real. When I was 6 years old, my parents moved from an all-black community to a predominantly all-white community in Northern California. Why did they make that move? First of all, they couldn't afford it, but they saved their money. They knew that if they moved to this all-white area, that my sister and I were sitting in a classroom surrounded by white students only. And that teacher could not teach around us. Whatever those white kids learned, my sister and I would learn. And as a result of that, it was a painful time because little white kids didn't know, had never seen any black kids. I had never seen any white kids. The white kids wanted to touch my hair, wanted to touch my skin. It was harmless. I had this fascination about them as well. But in that school, there were 4 black students, myself, my sister, and 2 other guys who were brothers, right? My sister graduated from Stanford as a result of the previous education that she got in elementary school that provided her with enough education to get a scholarship to Stanford. Went to Hastings Law School. My buddy ended up being the dean of the Medill School of Journalism at Northwestern. His brother ended up being a local judge. And of course, I came in last, but I got a bachelor's degree from a degree. Right. So yeah. When I was in 2nd grade, there was this kid that was in 6th grade, and he was a big kid. And his name, see, it's amazing what you remember. His name was George Schmidt, of German ancestry. This motherfucker called me nigga every single day. Now, my parents had a house right across the street from the elementary school, and I think one of the reasons why I became so fast, which helped me later on playing football, was because these kids used to chase me home from school every day. And I'd tell my father and mother would go to the school, they would call the police, and then my father finally got fed up with it. He says, listen, man, this is what we're gonna do. We had a cyclone fence, you know what a cyclone fence is? Around our house. We lived on a corner lot directly across the street from the school. My father got my baseball bat and he stuck it behind a bush. He said, now this is what we're gonna do. The next time they chase you home, do not do this until they come onto the property. When they come inside that fence, you be positioned right by that baseball bat. And one day, George and his buddies chased me home. And I hobbled him. You guys know what hobble is? No, I his knees with that baseball bat. I hobbled his ass. That will never go away because there's always another generation that's being taught to hate and to distrust, you know, and my parents always told me, listen, I don't care what a person looks like, don't care what God they worship. If they treat you right and you can trust them, that's your friend.